Mama's in the living room watching Judge Judy. I'm in the kitchen eating leftover sushi, and she yells, "Oh, girl, you gotta hear this one." A man was arrested for running the theme park, and when they said, "Where's your license?" he said, "My dog ate it." Oh, you can't make this shit up. Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on her Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one." Mama loves to laugh at how absurd life is, says it's all a comedy and I'm her audience. And I love the way she makes fun of the world. She said, "You'll never guess what's true with their girlfriend. It was a man who didn't get us out of the bed. He said, I've been through hell and now I need some help. You just can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up." Sometimes I wonder if life's just one big cosmic joke. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout. It's like she's on a Reddit, reading r/funny lawsuits, yelling from the couch. As she sips on a Prosecco, makes fun of all the weirdos, and then I hear her shout, "Girl, you gotta hear this one."
Hey everybody, it's Squid. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is doing well today. Sorry I'm in the dark, but your girl has a headache yet again. It's like 3 days in a row with a headache. I don't know. It is what it is. Here we go. We're going to get farther into this document than we did yesterday. Sorry, I just have to return a message real quick. Yeah, we're just going to ignore that message real quick. I thought I had to return a text message, but we'll return that message later. Hope everybody is doing well. Sorry I didn't do the Amazon list this morning. Your girl is not feeling too hot. Didn't fall asleep until 3 a.m. Mr. Squid was up for work when I went to bed. So we was having a day. We're having a day. and Roy, I might have to borrow Squid's titanium plate to keep my brain from leaking out listening to this ocean. Yes, for those of you unaware, my titanium plate is it's right back here. It actually keeps my brain in my head. Before we get started, thank you, Janice, for the $9.99 super chat or super sticker. I appreciate you so very, very much. We are just going to get started with this right off the bat. We've, I'm going to try to keep my headache from getting worse reading this, because yesterday was, just the certain things in this world. Like, I don't like the word trigger, but certain things in this world trigger me. Like when people claim statuses or try to play victim for things that they don't have. I'm going to open this to see if I can kill this headache with some caffeine. I might have to shotgun it because it is not been in the fridge very long. And apparently if these things are at room temperature when they're shipped from Amazon, somewhere in the shipping process supercharges their pressurization level where they explode when you open them. So if I have to shotgun this, somebody clip that so I can post it as a short, because that would be fucking hilarious. So give me 1 second. And I have to quick shotgun it so that it doesn't end up all over my keyboard, you know? You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Something happens when these things get shipped. If they are not cold, they explode. So I have to go get a towel because it's all over here. And I'm going to put my hand in it if I try to move my mouse. So I will be right back. Somebody clip that because that was freaking hilarious. I will be posting that as a short of just the entertainment and the absolute ridiculousness and the sense of humor that we have on this channel. Because if you can't laugh at yourself, you're going to have a rough life. And the one thing I love to do is laugh because I have a goofy personality. I love to laugh at myself. I love to laugh at other people. I love to laugh with people. Comedy is one of my favorite things. I don't do the stupid humor like the Hangover movies and stuff like that, but I love to laugh, especially at myself, because this. I will be right back. Thanks, guys. At least I knew it was coming. It's not a surprise anymore because it's happened so often. I tried to put this one in the freezer because there's this closet right here. And that's where I keep all the 12 packs because I'm the only one who drinks it. Mr. Squid drinks Coca-Cola and Red Bull. Not at the same time, and sweet tea. He drinks like a gallon of sweet tea a week. However, those are his go-to drinks. He does not touch Celsius. I drink those. So I keep them all in the office closet because this is my closet. Like, it's all my stuff. And I go and occasionally put stuff in the fridge so that I don't take up the whole fridge with Celsius. Because I try to be respectful of space and not just take over the whole house. Because even though I'm here more than he is, we're a team, and I try to be respectful of the fact that it's his space too. And so I keep it in the closet, and I did not put any in the fridge this morning. So caffeine, there's something happens when these ship from Amazon where, I don't know, they get shaken up or something. But Mr. Squid's smart and drinks Fahrenheit. He drinks coffee. He drinks coffee. We have like a standing order to Black Rifle coffee. That's our go-to coffee in this house. So you needed a towel to clean up the mess the unicorn made. Yes, Panty Hampshires. That was a joke made by Megan like a year or two ago, and someone made me a meme and sent me a meme, and it's been my thing ever since. So, all right. And Taz, thank you. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you for a little while. Thanks for being a member for 11 months. I haven't. You need a small fridge for in your office. I do. This is Mr. Squid's office and Baby Squid's playroom. So I try to be respectful of space because I have way more stuff. Mr. Squid's a minimalist. He has a lot of hunting stuff that he keeps in our closet. We used to have an Elmer Fudd closet in our last office / guest room, but now we don't really have that extra space. Our last house was bigger. It was older and it was a rental, but it was bigger square footage wise. And we had our own separate spaces. I had my office was the dining room because we're not the formal dining room people. We're the eat in the kitchen kind of people. So he had his space and I had mine. And now we're in the same space. So I try to be respectful of the fact that I share this space and I'm not I try to be respectful of the fact that even though I work from home and he doesn't, I share a space and I try not to completely take over. Because my personality somewhat takes over because he's a very reserved, quiet, man of few words, actions speak louder than words kind of person. And I am a talker, obviously, which is why I have a YouTube channel. He hates YouTube. However, I think he loves the fact that he doesn't have to listen to me talk about shit that he could care less about. Because he could care less about any of this stuff. So thanks y'all for hanging out with me and listening to me complain about this shit because he could care less. All right, we left off on page 5. We made it a whole 5 pages in 2 hours yesterday. Make that one make sense too. So we're going to get into this. We only had 11 minutes of BS today instead of 25. All right, the court need only look at plaintiff's broader litigation conduct to appreciate this pattern. I'm going to clutch my proverbial pearls here. As documented in the complaint submitted to the FBI and IC3, Hales and Shockett operate through harassment disguised as legal process, filing scattershot motions, making false statements and affidavits, and dragging uninvolved individuals, such as Defendant Senior, into federal proceedings to maximize disruption and stress. First issue. Dragging uninvolved individuals. When you answer the door because someone is being served, that is not dragging someone into litigation. That's a known address to you. If you don't want to be at risk of opening the door to someone serving you papers, don't get involved with shady people who might get sued. And this isn't a poster. It's actual like the same material as the cheap soundproofing stuff, not soundproofing, but sound absorbing stuff. So but it was too pretty to put where nobody could see it. So it's definitely fun. Yeah, and that's the thing, Terry. It's for those of you who follow Ketchup Court and Dr. Hines, he has been following the Laura Owens case for a long time, and I've been on his channel discussing that with him. Well, I recently shared a drive with all these documents with him, and he's like, "That's a lot of documents," and I'm like, "It's a lot. Like, it's a lot. Like, it is a lot. Like, it's a lot to go through." So it's yeah. That Tricky Dicky must have forgotten that he gave an address to a federal court. Yeah, it's just one of those. Yeah. And it's like, just when you think this case can't get any weirder, here we are. And I stress this there is a difference between doing what some other channels are doing and covering a case and interjecting yourself into a legal proceeding. Like this person who is now being sued. It's just Yes, this right here. I do not feel sorry for him or the other ones. They inserted themselves into something that did not concern them, and now they're all getting sued. Yeah, it's like there's a difference between covering it and analyzing how it applies to real life. And I say real life because, no offense to Jeremy, but this set of circumstances doesn't apply to many other people in the world. However, certain cases, certain facts from this can be extracted and applied to other aspects of life. For example, one, don't talk shit about people on the internet. Especially don't talk shit about people with monetized YouTube channels, because if they can track through YouTube analytics, because YouTube analytics, if you actually dive deep into your analytics, can provide you with a shit ton of information down to age groups, like everything that you put into your YouTube like account or your Google account, I can pretty much see, in the sense of not like individual people. So say Gail, for example, like I can't see like Gail's individual demographics. However, I can see, okay, there's 150 people watching right now. I will be able to see, of those 150 people, how many are subscribed, percentage of subscribed people versus not subscribed people, average ages, average time a day where people that view my channel watch YouTube. Like that is how people can manipulate the algorithm. Is if I know that the majority of my people watch YouTube between 2 and 4 p.m., they go live between 2 and 4 p.m. because that's when the majority of their people that watch their channel watch YouTube. You would be shocked at the amount of information that you can extract from YouTube analytics if you look hard enough. And comparing when people make statements on certain live streams compared to when people have a dip in subscriptions, I can see how many people renewed their got renewed their channel memberships versus like how many people got gifted memberships and let them expire. You can see a lot of information in YouTube Analytics and YouTube Studio if you go looking. So I don't think that the average person knows that. So it's like, this is one of the reasons that you don't talk shit about people on YouTube. Whether you love people on YouTube, whether you hate people on YouTube, you have to look at everybody the same. That is why when certain people come into my chat, you don't know, I might hate this person. I might despise this person, or this person might be my best friend. The world may never know, because I treat everybody the same, in the sense of, one, I believe in karma and the Wiccan way of the world, where if whatever energy you put out into the world, you get back threefold. So when you're a bitch to someone, you're going to get that same energy back. So even though someone might not have done something to me personally, if I'm, say, an asshole to Musa lady, just for the sake of being an asshole, if I'm an asshole to her, she has every right to be an asshole back to me, because I was rude first. So just don't be rude to people. Except for Slug. Slug, you can be an asshole to Slug, because Slug's just an asshole to everybody. You need to dye your roots. They're showing. They're supposed to be showing. Like, it's called a balayage. Like, it's not meant to be. It's just yeah. Squid the boomer herself has hit lobsters with her walker. I don't use a walker. I use a cane. Thank you very much. But like, whatever energy you put out, you're gonna get back. It's the Wiccan way of the world. So you just don't be a dick. You just don't be a dick. Like, just don't be a dick. That's why certain people, did you see my post about your avatar pic? I don't know. I might have. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So it's just one of those situations of you don't talk shit about people on the internet, because say I talked crap about Musa Lady and she could see a decline, say she was monetized and she could see a decline in her income at the same time or correlated with when I talked crap about her. Not correlation does not always equal causation, but with enough correlation and enough people doing it, I'm pretty sure Jeremy has strong YouTube analytics of when people said things based on transcripts, and YouTube videos never go away, combined with the fact that of his YouTube analytics and when he lost income, when he lost subscribers, how many people didn't renew their memberships. Like, you can compare and contrast, and one or two might be a coincidence, but years of this shit, and the longer they drag this shit out, this is the other thing that I don't think they understand. The longer they drag this shit out, the more evidence Jeremy has. The quicker you get this shit over with, the less evidence he is able to collect. Because the more time and the more they talk, the more evidence they let people have. It's just so stupid. And the fact, like, the fact that people can't see how stupid they're being, and like when people are being bullied or are bullies and they can't see how they're bullying other people, it's just, and then to say that people are afraid of other people on the internet, I'm sorry, if you are afraid of anybody else on the internet just for simply existing, just stop. Just stop. Nope, she's read one sentence. Yes, the more evidence they create. Yeah. Yeah, they also don't understand JH isn't the one on trial. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. And I've read more than one sentence, Jeffrey. I've gotten like half a paragraph. This pattern is not advocacy, it's elder abuse by way of litigation. And that's another thing I hate. I've seen actual elder abuse. I've reported actual elder abuse to the social worker on my unit. This is far from elder abuse. So by calling him being served, if what was taken in this, if you can call this a motion, as fact is true, take it as true, just play devil's advocate. This is not elder abuse. I have seen elder abuse. Serving the wrong person, possibly because you have the same freaking name, is not elder abuse. Especially when that person gets on your YouTube channel and talks. And John, we've had this conversation before, and I'm not going to get into it really again, but Jeremy's not dragging this out. So playing devil's advocate, whether I like Jeremy or not, is not an issue. Because I really don't, but that's not the point. When they're serving everybody 3 months apart, it's not Jeremy's fault. Jeremy sent process servers out all at the same time. Certain people are doing this instead of just saying, okay, I'll take it and I'll fight you in court. They're doing this and trying to this. Yes. Everyone was dodging service after bragging they can't wait. Flee y'all to grift and make content. Yes. And I have said it before. Everybody is every defendant in this case is making content off of this case. So it's, and Sticky Widget, thanks for being a member for 8 months. How are you doing, my friend? So it's just, this is not elder abuse. Then to compound that abuse by refusing to perform the most basic procedural requirement of conferral only confirms frivolous and harassing nature of this motion. Federal courts in this circuit routinely deny motions for failure to comply with conferral rules. That is true. But can you confer with someone who hasn't been served yet? There's the kicker. I have a question. I've had a headache for 4 days. So I'm hoping it'll be solved today, but we'll see. Motion denied outright where counsel failed to confer in good faith as required by Local Rule 301G, 3.01G. The rationale applies when even greater force here. The failure is not just technical, but deliberate, carried out in the context for a broader campaign of abuse. But here's the thing. He's denying that he was ever served. So can you confer with a defendant who claims they were never served? The logic, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't claim that you were never served, but also claim that you were never conferred with before a motion was filed. You can't have it both ways. And I think that is what, and the fact that this was supposedly written by Luthmann Sr., or Luthmann Sr., however you pronounce his name, I don't know. You can't have it both ways. Like, you just can't. This court should not indulge litigants who treat rules as optional. Plaintiff's willful failure to comply and certify under Rule 7.1b alone is sufficient grounds to deny the motion. When coupled with a knowingly false affidavit of service, the conflation of two different individuals, and the abuse targeting of an elderly man. Giving someone paperwork is not abusive targeting of an elderly man. Draining someone and putting them back in the hospital because you didn't give them their medication and you're taking their Medicare funds is an abuse of an elderly man. Ask me how I know. This is not an abuse of an elderly man. I can tell you what an abuse of an elderly man is because I've seen it with my own 2 fucking eyes multiple times over 6 years. But honestly, if I were the judge, after that first paragraph, I would not even indulge this. I would have shredded it. This would, you act like that in my courtroom, and I'm not even going to, no. Thanks for the $2 super chat, Dan Davis. You don't look a day over 40 in an avatar pic. Gee, thanks. Gee, thanks. Oh my goodness. You crack me up. And King Bob, thank you for the 1 gifted Squid Pro Quo membership. How are you today, my friend? How is King Bob's queen? How is she doing? Yeah, and according to everything that I've figured out, Luthmann Sr. was a pharmacist. I know plenty of pharmacists. I worked in a freaking I worked in a 700-bed hospital for 6 years. I've seen shit. I know people. I've seen people. I don't know one freaking pharmacist that is this long-winded. And Taz, thanks for the $5 super chat. Just curious. I love you. Thank you. And I appreciate everybody for the super chats today. Y'all make my day. And I will be doing I ordered some stuff on Amazon and I will be unboxing it when it gets here. Jesus. Yes. For those who missed yesterday's stream, I'm sure you've seen it on other people's. The first couple lines of this motion are not to be missed. It's like they think all court is run like a live stream. Yeah, and it's one of those things that makes this case so interesting is how little, and this is on both sides because I saw some crazy crap when I first started covering this case. It's one of those situations where, yes, our legal system is complicated. However, it shows me just how little in this world, and I don't know everything about our legal system. I'm not a lawyer, not a paralegal. I'm an occupational therapy assistant. That being said, how little people know about our legal system. Like when people, the what the hell side, y'all are guilty of this. And I use this phrase specifically because it has been said to me in multiple comments on multiple videos when talking about Federal 1 and all the motions that BBB filed. Well, why doesn't the judge just look up John and Lynette and investigate? He legally and ethically cannot. The fact that so many people don't even realize that simple fact that the judge cannot do outside research on plaintiffs or defendants it's like, guys, come on. Like, that is why what is put in these motions matters, because the judge can't do outside research. That is why, if I have always said from everything that I cover, if it's not in a motion, it does not matter. Because the judge cannot do outside research. But this has shown me how much, this is not the only case. You see this in all cases. But, yeah, of course he can't look them up. It's common sense for some. But do you know how many people were in my comment section being like, well, the judge just needs to look him up, and how much hate the judge got in my comment section and how much hate I got for defending the judge? It's like, the judge, you think lawyers are supposed to have ethics rules. The judge has an extra set of, he has the American Bar Association, his state bar association, and the judicial rules of ethics to abide by. It's just the facts. And that's one of the reasons that these are, and it's so important that I know reading all of them word for word can be kind of boring sometimes. However, it's super important. And I don't cherry pick because I don't want to ever be accused of cherry picking. The only thing that I will skip is like, oh, history of case. We all know the history of the case. And if we don't by now, there's thousands of YouTube videos going over the history of the case. The court's course of action is clear. The motion must be denied in its entirety. Defective service under Rule 4. Plaintiff's motion collapses under the weight of its own defective service. I mean, if I believed that this was an accurate statement, that's a very well-written statement. Like I said, I play devil's advocate here. I will call it like I see it. I don't believe what he's saying. However, that's a very well-written statement in my opinion. The federal rules of civil procedure require strict compliance with service provisions of Rule 4, because valid service of process is the very mechanism by which a court acquires jurisdiction over a defendant. Pardazzi v. Coleman Medical Center. Well, here's the thing. This is where I'm like, his motion, in my opinion, fights against himself. He basically argues against himself because he's like, first, you didn't confer with me before filing a motion, but you didn't serve me accurately either. You can't have it both ways. You can only have one of those two options. Either you're not served properly and you're not part of this because you haven't been served, or I'm served and they didn't comply with the rules before filing this motion. You can't have it both ways. Like, it's like, yo, what the hell? And this is where it's like important to read, and the reading comprehension comes in, because I'm like, you argue against yourself. Service of process is a jurisdictional requirement. A court lacks jurisdiction over the person of a defendant when service of process is not perfected. Well, when you've literally been seen running away from... Yes, do not contact anyone in this case. I'm going to thank you, Mary, for the reminder. We are going to play our little channel disclaimer while I get a drink.
The creator does not give medical, legal, or financial advice. You may hear opinions on this channel from the creator and guests that you may not agree with, and that is okay. Everyone is welcome to their own thoughts, views, and opinions, and this is a place for open debate and agreeing to disagree. Thank you. Do not contact anyone discussed in this stream. If you do, you will be blocked from this channel, and then continuously shamed by the creator and the chat for being stupid.
Sorry, we had to put a ponytail in for this because shit's getting real when the hair comes up, you know? It is just, shit gets real. It's just, oh my God. It's frustrating because you look at it and you're like, you can't have it both ways. But he thinks he can. Yes. Service announcement. All lurkers must comment to be counted for the streamer. Yes, Dan, thank you for that. And Robert James, thanks for being a member for 12 months. I can't believe I've had members for a year. Like, what the hell? Who am I? Oh, my goodness. And Ninja Puppy, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Super chat grift, that's my girl. I'm horrible at grifting. I wish I was skilled. Like I said, I'm all about having a good time. I ain't here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. And at the end of the day, YouTube is supposed to be fun. So we laugh. We make fun of shit. We make fun of people. We make fun of me. Because if you can't have a good time, what is the point? Like, what's the point? Yes, and please hit that thumbs up or the down button too. Like, you know, who cares? It all helps. Yeah, and that was pointed out to me yesterday, and I'm like, it's just so weird. Just so weird. Just so weird. And Paul, thanks for being a member for 7 months. Hey Squid, been on replay crew as of late. Oh, Paul, speaking of that, in the Discord, not mine, but the person you mod for, I was going to I wanted to know where I should put my my shellback card because I found it the other day. I was gonna post a picture of it, but none of the rooms in that server looked like an appropriate place to, like, you know, do a shout out for a shellback. Yeah, you can't make this shit up. Oh my goodness. It's just, the 11th Circuit has been crystal clear. There is no doctrine of, quote, close enough. If service is defective, jurisdiction does not exist. Actual notice is not enough. Diane, I still need I have YouTube TV because I had Fubo and it got way too expensive. But tonight is game 3 of Cubs versus Brewers. And watching Craig Counsell cry is chef's kiss. He can wipe his ass with, or he can wipe his tears with that $40 million he wanted for going to Chicago. Let his greed wipe his tears. Actual notice is not enough. Plaintiff attempts to bootstrap actual notice from YouTube videos and emails into valid service. Well, one, alternative service can be viewed as emails, and this is where I believe the legal system has to catch up to the 21st century and YouTube issues. Because you can't claim that you haven't been served and you know nothing about a lawsuit when you are sitting on YouTube talking about said lawsuit. Once again, you can't have it both ways. And I am fucking so sorry. Holy crap. Yeety, I told you I have a headache, right? Now you can tell, like, that I'm exhausted and have a headache. I've gotten about 8 I got about 10 hours of sleep in 3 days. Football season combined with baseball season combined with hockey season is starting, and I'm doing my research on that. Combined with working extra hard this week, combined with not being able to sleep and having a migraine. Dude, thanks for pointing that out. You are literally, Yeety, we've been at this for like 25 minutes, and you are literally the first person to point that out. So congratulations. I've been reading it. It's just how do you write to the court, be on YouTube saying I haven't been served, but yet show the paperwork in your hands and you're reading it and still say that you've not been served? And that's the sorry, Dan, I'll get to your comment in a minute because your comment's so true. But this is accurate. So accurate. This is what I can't get past. Sometimes I do that, but it was only to piss off people who came in here and had a problem with me like this, with my face near it. Because at one point in time, people were screenshotting it and so we're screenshotting it and using it, but when I paid for it. Because I do not get any of these documents from this source. Like, no offense to the people who do, and this is not throwing shade at the people who do, but this is, I've gotten 90% of these documents on my own with my own pocket and my own money. So I don't appreciate when someone comes in here and screenshots my chat or my channel and uses my channel to get the documents. So there was a time when I would not show it just to be a dick because I knew people were doing that. But, you know, like, I'm a Georgia fan. I am literally only a Wisconsin fan because I will never not root for my home state. Kind of a thing. But I've never really been a Wisconsin football fan. Even basketball, I'm a Marquette fan. So I'm more of a Marquette than a Wisconsin fan. However, one of my best friends got her bachelor's and her master's from the University of Wisconsin and is a Wisconsin super fan. That being said, I'm a Georgia fan. So, you know, it is what it is. We lost to Alabama. And Sir Frank, thanks for being a member for 10 months. Huskers are better than the Crimson Tide. God, I hope so. Like, I wonder who would do that. A lot of people. A lot of people. So there was a time when I would, there were people who would be in the comments, why is your face in front of some of the words? So that you can't screenshot it. Or if you do, you get my ugly mug in front of it too. So, you know, no, she's one of those people. Who's one of those people? The judge isn't stupid and can see what he's doing. Yeah. I don't drink from the Badger Bubbler. Nope. I missed your previous comment. I missed a lot of comments, but that happens. Mercury. I'm embarrassed to say it, but go Preds. I don't know. I don't know. Harry, we'll see you in November. All right. Actual notice is not enough. Plaintiffs attempt to bootstrap actual notice from YouTube videos and emails into valid service. Well, didn't he put in, and I don't have the docket pulled up in front of me, but didn't this, Dan, I worked for the Milwaukee Admirals, which is an AHL feeder team. I was an ice girl for a year for the Milwaukee Admirals, volunteer thing where I did ice cleanups, you know? So it's just yeah. Squid Purple, my previous comment had been that you were familiar with this motion already. Can you hear me? No. Are you listening? No. The 3-year-old response is yes. Hey, Noni. Late again. My bad. Oh, you're fine. I used to love going to Admirals games. Yeah, me too. I used to love going to Brewers games too. But I used to skate a lot. All right. This is where I'm hoping that the legal system will catch up to the real world, because our legal system is old, obviously. Our legal system is based on British law, but our legal system has not quite caught up to technological and cyber issues. Yes, we have written typed documents and electronic filing. That's not my point. Court has not caught up to YouTube live streams, parasocial relationships, cyber stalking, just those kind of issues. I don't think our judicial process, because you have to think, a lot of our judges and a lot of lawyers, not all, and hence LawTube and things like that, don't have a lot of social media because they have ethics and they have ethics rules to abide by. And being on social media, it is very, very easy to break your ethical rules. You can say something wrong. You can make comments to people about certain things that you're not supposed to talk about, as evidenced by, if you listen to some lawyers talk that shouldn't be talking about certain cases. It's very easy for people to do research online if you have social media. So a lot of the judges do not have social media. One, it's easy. Plus, I know from experience in my social media, before I had a YouTube channel or even was on YouTube for anything, I had Facebook. My old patients would look me up on Facebook. Quite creepy. Could you imagine litigants looking up and trying to friend request the judge? Creepy. People in this world can be creepy. Googling people. You just Google your name. You can find so much information about people so easily. It's creepy. So it's just this. I don't think our court system has caught up to the fact that we have cyber security, cyber crimes, claiming that you didn't get served, yet holding the paper in your hand and talking on a YouTube channel. Clearly, that's a lie. But because our judge can't do any research, it has to be put in a motion. But then the defendant obviously is like, well, you can't use YouTube as, claiming I got served, because there's no precedent for it. Our judicial system runs off of precedent. And that is what I'm hoping this case will figure out, is some precedent of online harassment and like so what I'm hoping is that this case will set some precedent for some online issues. I don't know if it will, but I'm hoping it will. Yeah, the filing contradicts the exhibits. Yeah. There was that judge in Oklahoma that speed ran her removal as a judge with social media and texting on the job. I remember that. It's just that there's just so many issues with social media that it's scary. And it's, yeah, this case should make some great new laws. Should being the key word. Yeah, if a channel or a chat gets mean to me, I just change channels. Yeah. And my goal is never to have someone in the chat feel uncomfortable with the other people in chat, because you're always free to block people. But my mods know that it's an automatic 24-hour timeout if you start talking shit to another chatter, just for the sake of talking shit. If you do have a disagreement over a topic, that's one thing. But if you are just like talking shit just to be an ass, my mods will automatically time people out, because we don't do that shit here. And then if you come back and you do it again, I'll just boot your ass, because I'm sick of drama like that. Other people's drama is fun to talk about, but anytime I have drama, I just boot people or like say bye and don't talk to me ever again. Yeah, if I don't like someone, I just don't talk to them. All right. That argument fails as a matter of law. The 11th Circuit has squarely held that a defendant's actual notice is not sufficient to cure defectively executed service. Service rules are not aspirational. Due process requires proper service. The Supreme Court has likewise emphasized that constitutional due process requires notice reasonably calculated under all circumstances to apprise the interested parties of the pendency of the action. But you also can't prove that you've and shown that you are evading service and then expect to be served the old-fashioned way. It just doesn't work that way. Like, it just doesn't work that way. Hey, AP! Actual notice gleaned from the internet or social media does not satisfy this standard. That's what I'm hoping will be one of the things that it changes. No service at defendant junior's dwelling. Rule 4E2B permits substitute service by leaving papers at the individual's dwelling or usual place of abode with someone of suitable age and discretion who resides there. Plaintiff claims service at Pontevedra address, but that address is not and has never been the dwelling of Richard Luthmann Jr. He is domiciled in Naples, Collier County, or 300 miles away. Service left at a house in Pontevedra, even if it were seniors. This right here, even if it were a senior's residence, cannot look that slip of the tongue. He picked a fight in here once, and he's never picked a fight since. And that's why people are still welcome here, is because they don't seem to pick fights when they're in here. I don't know why. I'm hoping that it's because I try to show respect for everybody and I shut shit down when it gets, but whatever. I'm hoping that it's just the fact that, like, whatever you give, you get. So, you know. Yeah, that right there. He used that in the motion that we read that he wrote from a case in the Middle District of Florida from, I believe, March. He actually used that address. It's just that's what, there's another. I just, yeah. Cannot possibly qualify as service at junior's dwelling or usual place of abode. The 11th Circuit has rejected precisely this kind of service on relatives elsewhere as ineffective. Service on a defendant's mother's home is invalid where defendant did not live there. I have to look up this case because I'm wondering if, it is possible even to use appropriate case law and to take it out of context. I'm curious, and this is just my question. Y'all can feel free to disagree with me or have different questions than me. If service on relatives elsewhere, was that the first time that that person was served? And it was ineffective because it was the first attempt at service, not months of trying to serve somebody. And as a last resort, this is how you are serving them, as alternative service. It's just, and hey, JKD Buck. So you can always take, just like you can take a headline and an article and only cut out the parts that make you look good or look good for your side and twist it. I'm almost convinced that you can also do that with case law. Because reading this, it's like, well, that makes sense. But then if you think a little deeper into it, was this case, Morris v. Heron, the first time this person was served or the 3-month mark? Because at the 3-month mark, it's alternative means of service. And I believe Jeremy did put a alternative means of service motion in for Luthmann, as well as false affidavit and manufactured stepmother. Sorry, my internet went down for a second. That was weird. That was really weird. That hasn't happened in like 2 months. That hasn't happened in a long time, guys. YouTube must have got Good needs Starlink, an alternate internet service. That has not happened in a long time. Like, they fixed that issue in the neighborhood once they fixed the road and the drainage issue. It was a water issue down the road. They fixed the drainage. The internet starts working again. This is the first time we've had internet issues in 2 weeks. Or no, wait. This is the first time we've had internet issues in over a month. So, sun flares, I don't know. Houston, we had a problem. Sun flares, we'll blame it on that. That was the first time, because I went into my app for my internet, and it was like, you're out for a minute. And then it was like, it came back on just as fast as it went out. I don't know. So, well over a month. Well over a month. Almost since the little's birthday. Yeah, because ever since they fixed the water issue down the road, and that was messing with a circuit or a switch or something under the road. Ever since they did that, it's been fine until that second. But all right, we're back. And C is where this, I replaced the fuse. Thank you. Fuse is the word I couldn't think of. Circuit came to mind, but it was like, what's in a circuit? False affidavit and manufactured stepmother. This is where I think it starts to get a little, if it wasn't already crazy enough, this is where I feel like it goes a little crazier. The affidavit itself is riddled with falsehoods. It identifies service on a Janet E. Kellier Moulton and falsely described as the stepmother of Richard Sr. That is a fabrication. Defendant Sr.'s father passed away many decades ago, having married to Sr.'s mother until his death. There is no stepmother. There is no relationship between a Janet Kellier Moulton and either senior or junior plaintiffs' deliberate use of this falsehood exemplifies the broader fraud on the court that undergirds their motion. Courts in this circuit have long condemned the use of false affidavits to manufacture jurisdiction. And next Tuesday, we will be going through this motion compared to other documents, specifically this lady's name combined with the affidavit and the motion that he wrote in that Penguin wrote. I call him Penguin because every time I look at him, I think Penguin from Batman. That's all I can. That's the only thing that comes to my head when I think of this dude is Penguin from Batman. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. We're going to compare and contrast because I have questions, and instead of asking them here when we're trying to get through this document, I'm asking them, I'm writing them down, and we're going to compare and contrast documents next week. So while I'm doing that, I might as well, actually do what I said I was going to do and just write page number before I forget. You know what I mean? See, compare names. Because if I don't take notes, I forget. And I don't have time, and I don't have the patience to rewatch my own stream. Fraudulent affidavits, a Latin word that I always mess up. I'm so bad at languages, guys. I can barely get down English, let alone Latin. But Squid, did you forget to remember, or did you remember to forget? I can't remember either way. Collapse of two identities. Even more egregious is plaintiff's refusal to distinguish between senior and junior in their pleadings or affidavits. What happens if here's the thing. Did Randy even realize that this dude was a junior? Because sure as shit, I didn't. Not like that's my job to figure it out. But if you don't go by junior, how the hell are people supposed to know? Are we supposed to be fucking psychic? And are we supposed to know this shit? Like the 64 fucking genders we have now? Are we supposed to know what idiotic shit you identify as? Slug, you're all literally short and cringe. If you're gonna insult me, say it in the super chat. There you go. I should just have a roast. You know what I should do for a grift? I should just have a roast. I should just do a roast on a Friday afternoon or Saturday night, and y'all can roast me, but you need to put it in super chat form, and it needs to be a rainbow night. And a rainbow night means a super chat of every color. So, may be wrong, but should she tell process server she was the stepmother? I know the process server completed service report that was released, but didn't see that particular document. We'll look at that next Tuesday, because I believe she did, but I'm writing things down because we can compare and contrast like you do to the pear head, I guess. The second amended complaint lumps Richard Luthmann together without specifying whether it means to senior or junior. The judge is going to look at this and be like, how the fuck did they know you were a junior? Yeah, that's right here. Like, I know a few juniors that don't go by junior, but when I found out, I was like, I didn't know. The affidavit of service likewise fails to identify which man was allegedly served. This is not a mere pleading deficit, it is a deliberate attempt to ensnare an uninvolved elderly man in litigation directed at his adult son. I highly doubt that, and the judge is gonna, like, I'm sorry, the judge is gonna look at this shit after that first paragraph. Because this was supposedly written by Senior. So I believe this was written by Junior. And the fucked up part about it is, I believe this was written by Junior and he just screwed his dad because of that first paragraph. I wouldn't strike this because if he strikes it, that first paragraph doesn't exist. So I wouldn't strike this motion. I don't know what the hell I would do with this motion, but I wouldn't strike it. Hey, Sarcastic. Plaintiffs had multiple opportunities to amend and clarify their claims, but have deliberately chosen not to do so. Their failure alone warrants denial of the motions. Or maybe because they don't watch your fucking stupid YouTube channel. They don't know. I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel. Yeah, sanctions. Constitutional dimensions. The Due Process Clause forbids exactly this kind of abuse. A defendant cannot be haled into court. Nice little play on words there. Without proper constitutionally sufficient service. See Burnham v. Superior Court. Plaintiff's effort to collapse two distinct individuals, rely on a knowingly false affidavit, and substitute actual notice for lawful service violates the most basic constitutional guarantees. It's not simply defective service, it's a calculated abuse of process designed to harass an elderly man for profit. All while you sit on your YouTube channel, you talk about these documents that you supposedly weren't served with and make a profit. Just make it make sense. Distinction between Richard Sr. and Richard Jr. At the heart of plaintiff's motion lies a fatal conflation of two entirely different individuals. Richard Luthmann Sr., a 72-year-old pharmacist residing in Nocatee, Florida, and his son, Richard Luthmann Jr., a journalist domiciled in Naples, Florida. Plaintiff's pleadings, affidavits, and motion papers collapse these two separate people into a single, indistinguishable Richard Luthmann. This is the dumbest argument. If you could go, if you went by Junior and it wasn't in there, I could totally see this argument plausibly working. However, the fact that no one knows you were a fucking junior or cared to know you were a fucking junior. Yeah. Haters' whole defense is, Jeremy harasses seniors for content. Ugh. Yeah, all while they literally use seniors for content. Yeah. And Slug's in here, sort of. So I'm curious because Slug did a whole video series on what is a journalist. Slug has a degree in journalism. Just because you sit behind a mic or you write an article on freaking Substack or Medium does not make you a fucking journalist. I am not a fucking journalist. Just because I report things does not make me a fucking journalist. So he calls himself a journalist, but I have questions. Is he really? And what is a journalist? What makes you a journalist? It's interesting. It's almost like that. What's the sport? just because you play a game. What difference between a game and a sport? I mean, technically you can make anything into an argument like that, but it begs an interesting question of, is anybody with a YouTube channel a journalist? What is, I don't know. But is it though? Because I can't just get into the White House as a journalist. I need credentials. But what are they? It's a very interesting discussion. One that has been had many times by many people, including Slug. It's just an interesting question because it could mean something different to each person. Because would you consider some of the people on CNN journalist, even though they have a journalism degree? I'm not sure I would. Is an opinion writer a journalist? It's one of those things that I'm sure I could have a panel of people and we'd all have a different definition on what a journalist is. It's an interesting topic. But the fact that he puts in a motion that he's not a lawyer, he's a journalist, is an interesting representation of yourself. This tactic is not only sloppy pleading, it's deliberate act of bad faith calculated to drag an uninvolved senior citizen into federal litigation as collateral damage. I'm sure Randy did not know, nor does he care to bring in an extra person, yet another person into this fucking situation. Like, isn't fatal misused in this document? Who died, who didn't die? Yeah, there's that too. No clarity in the complaint. The second amended complaint does not delineate whether it asserts claims against senior or junior. It uses the name Richard Luthmann generically without specifying which individual is meant. This failure is to differentiate violates the basic notice pleading standards of Rule 8A2, which requires short and plain statement of the claim, showing that the pleader is entitled to relief. Instead, plaintiffs employ shotgun allegations that lump multiple defendants together, a practice repeatedly condemned by the 11th Circuit. Shotgun pleadings that fail to give each defendant fair notice of the claims against them are subject to dismissal. Here's my thing. I know two people that I'm related to that have the same name. They are not blood relatives, but they both married in to the family and have the same name. You know how many times they've been mixed up? Not on purpose, but because they have the same fucking name. Even doctors, they went to the same doctor for a little while. That didn't work out well because their freaking chart got messed up because they have the same fucking name. Like, they are not blood related. They married into the same family, have the same first and last name and middle initial, I believe. I'm remembering correctly. So they have the same first, middle initial, and last name. You know how confusing shit got? Not intentionally. They got mixed up so many damn freaking times. If it weren't for the fact that they were like 30 years apart, life would be a little bit more difficult. It's just, yeah. That too. The fact they wrote it up, they served the stepmother, they should know who they were serving. Yeah. Yeah, it's, no clarifications in the affidavits. The affidavit of service fares no better. It purports to serve Richard Luthmann at Ponte Vedra address by leaving papers with a supposed stepmother, but this affidavit is false on its face. Junior has never lived at the Ponte Vedra address or anywhere in St. Johns County, but yet he used that on I believe he used that on a different lawsuit. Like, I believe this is what I'm writing stuff down to compare and contrast, because this is what we're going to do next Tuesday. Because we can address all questions between this document and others next Tuesday. And Dan, it really depends. Was it an oops pregnancy or a planned pregnancy? Because it all depends. DR, I don't believe a senior wrote this. My question: does Randy respond to this nonsense as other than to draw attention to what the plaintiff is being called in this filing? This is where, if I were Randy, I would wait for the judge to respond first, because in all actuality, this is a response to Randy's motion. So for Randy to file a response to a motion that was a response to his motion, in my view, would be frivolous. And would, in my view, would piss off the judge, because this is not a standalone motion. This is a response to Randy's motion for alternative service, or whatever the freaking name of the motion was. Motion to declare valid service and entry of default and other relief. So I would just leave that shit alone. Yeah, remember Randy got sanctioned for answering 2 of Bubbles' BS motions. Yes, and since that was already since this is a response to Randy's motion, I would just leave it alone and wait for the judge. Yeah, and in this case, I believe that Bolitho would be proper in sanctioning Randy, considering this is a response to Randy's motion. So usually, like I said, not a lawyer, but usually it's motion, response to the motion, order from judge. Motion, response, order from judge. You don't get motion, response to response, order. Because then it's like bickering. It's like the legal bickering. So, yeah. And Unhung Hero, thank you for the 5 Squid Pro Quo memberships. I appreciate you so much. So, when will Bolitho get tired of papering the court? Copy and paste, change name. Sanctions will definitely slow it down. When? Right now, I think the judge is waiting for everybody to answer the complaint before he makes decisions. Yeah, pay the gray away. I feel like I do that once every 8 weeks. But thanks for noticing. And Unhung Hero does rock. Unhung Hero, how many days do you have left? All right. Senior does not reside with Junior and is not his agent for service. No such stepmother for Senior exists. Oh my God. We're doing this shit again. Senior's father died many decades ago, having remained married to Senior's mother until his death. This fabricated stepmother relationship is emblematic of plaintiff's willingness to submit knowingly false papers. This is where I have a problem. Were they just to put... So to me, it would have been knowingly false if Randy put Senior, but to just put Richard Luthmann when he just goes by Richard Luthmann, he does not go by Richard Luthmann Jr. He said it after he said it. This can't be right. Yeah. That's funny because yesterday I mentioned being from Wisconsin and watching Wisconsin sports, and you get something from Culver's. Today I mentioned Mr. Squid drinking Black Rifle coffee, and you get a mushroom coffee commercial. So, and I appreciate everybody tolerating the commercials and the ads on my live streams. I do monetize my live streams, considering I do not rely on super chats, and your girl's got to make a living somehow. Ungung Hero has 10 days before he's a married man. 10 more days before his beautiful fiance is his beautiful bride. And Wednesday, thanks for becoming a new YouTube member. Appreciate you. Oh, Dan, I hate giving money to YouTube, but YouTube Premium was the absolute best decision I ever made. I did it so that when I stream trials, especially on replay, I don't have to deal with ads in the replay of the trial. However, I kept it because, you know, Roy, shush. Shush, don't make the man nervous. Don't make the man nervous. This fabricated stepmother relationship is emblematic of plaintiff's willingness to submit knowingly false papers to this court in order to salvage defective service and prop up frivolous claims. You found Laura Owen's lost test. Oh my God, let's not get started on Laura Owens because, Lord, we have the Laura Owens jokes going on a stream that's not even about Laura Owens. I haven't talked about Laura Owens on this channel for a long time because something had to go. Something had to go. And like we don't have time for everything. Otherwise, I'd be streaming and making content 24 hours a day, and your girl barely has time for that. When the little goes to school, your girl will have more time to film. Also, I am starting to work on a video of fall prevention exercises. So that will be my next possible video for y'all. The video that is currently members only will be dropped to the rest of the channel subscribers probably Sunday. I'm giving it a couple more days of members only before the ergonomics video gets, but this is where I'm passionate, so you might see like a little more nerves, but it's because I'm passionate and this is what I truly care about, because this is what I went to college for. So y'all, I am going to be doing a fall prevention video because some of y'all are scaring me in the chat when I hear, hey, I haven't been around lately. I went to the hospital. I fell. I'm sick of y'all falling on me. No. You're supposed to fall for me, not on me. So, yeah. Unhung Hero is about to be married hero. Yeah, are you going to change your name? Unmarried hero to married hero? All right. And Unhung Hero is one of the OGs on this channel. So he's like my little brother. Like, I've fallen and I can't get up. I'm so sick of people falling. No. Please tell me you're joking. Please tell me you're joking. Please tell me you're joking. I am going to be doing some balance and fall prevention stuff. Oh no. You're joking, but this get a younger audience. I'm sorry, I'm a chronic pain sufferer, so most of my audience is chronic pain sufferers. However, most chronic pain sufferers are of a certain age. Except for me, I was like 20 when I started chronic pain. Anyway, I will be doing a fall prevention kind of video. Oh, you have vestibular. Oh. I fall all the time. Oh, y'all are killing me. Oh, we'd be doing some fall prevention. Yeah, I didn't fall, but I had a stroke and left side doesn't work well. I have a Brunstrom's movement book on my shelf. I have a stroke book on my shelf. Stroke was the best population to work with because they were always the most motivated. Look up Eagle syndrome. Oh. That's another big thing of fall prevention is the dogs. Pets. All right. That's a side note. We'll probably do a live stream to like brainstorm and stuff. Oh my goodness. See, and this is why I want to start using more of what I went to college for, because one, I'm passionate about it. And secondly, it's what we got nope. My left knee don't bend when I want it to. Yeah, the problem is my my left knee bends more than I want it to. I felt like I had a stroke. When I couldn't feel my legs, that's the first thing I thought of was I was having a stroke. That's the first thing I thought of when I was walking down the freaking grocery store aisle and my leg went numb. And I'm like, the first thing I'm like, oh shit, I'm having a stroke. And then my other leg went numb. And I'm like, the chances of a bilateral stroke in the grocery store, probably slim to none at 34 years old. So, you know, but man. All right. Getting back to this, we can talk about falls and fall prevention another time. Oh no. Y'all are scaring me. Yeah, I hate getting older. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Oh, I heard one more thing before we get back to this motion. I heard a story on a Facebook reel the other day. It was, if you're a Gen Xer or a millennial, an older millennial, try to have a conversation with someone under the age of 25 without saying the words "back in my day" or "when I was your age." It's damn near impossible. All right. No attempt to amend. Plaintiffs have been on notice of this defect for months. August 4th, 2025, Junior directly informed Hales and Shockett of this service at Ponte Vedra address was invalid. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If he directly on August 4th directly informed them that their service was invalid, isn't that he admitting that? Isn't he admitting that he's evading service? And that senior, and that no one there was authorized to accept service, and that any affidavit claiming otherwise would be fraudulent. The email dated August 4th, 2025, attached here to is Exhibit D. Despite this unequivocal warning, plaintiffs filed the false affidavit anyway. Worse, they have refused to amend their complaint to correct the conflation of senior and junior, and even after being placed on formal notice by the defense and federal complaints to the FBI. This refusal is not oversight, it's deliberate misconduct. Constitutional infirmity. Jesus, Pete. The Due Process Clause prohibits imposing liability on jurisdiction on one person for the alleged acts of another. Jurisdiction must be based on the defendant's own contacts, not those of others. Plaintiff's tactics of collapsing senior and into junior and vice versa is constitutionally impermissible. It would be one thing if you went by junior. You do not go by junior. Oh, sweet dumpster Jesus. To Hale Senior into court. Yeah, he's doing this on purpose. Because it's Hail. Into court for conduct attributed to only junior violates the most basic principles of personal jurisdiction and fair notice. It is, in truth, an unconstitutional bait and switch. Hale's pattern of elder abuse by litigation. Sweet baby dumpster Jesus. Someone please help me. Oh, we're gonna have to show, and I'm sorry, y'all, but we're gonna have to do some research on actual elder abuse, and like we're gonna have to show some people on the internet what elder abuse actually looks and sounds like, because this ain't fucking it. Dragging Senior into this case, despite his complete lack of involvement, is not a mistake. Putting your shit into this case when you are not a party to this case is, despite your complete lack of involvement, is just as bad as anything that you are, if not worse than anything you are claiming Jeremy to do. And I don't even fucking like Jeremy at this point in life. Like, fucking hate everybody. You know me. I don't play well with others. I hate everybody. I just, everybody sucks. Like, so everybody sucks, but the facts don't lie. Like, a bad night at bingo is closer to elder abuse than this. Yes. Dragon Lady Crafts, I can't wait to see how the judge responds to this. I truly hope that Paint Chips gets held in contempt and this spends some time in jail. Well, the fact that I believe this Paint, as his father wrote this, somebody's going to be fucked, and I don't think it's Paint Chips. And now I understand the name Paint Chips, because usually I don't call people by their actual names, but like, this is just fucking actually fucking ridiculous. Like, how do I get a power bill that low? It's elder abuse by way of litigation. Plaintiffs have weaponized process servers and fraudulent affidavits to intimidate and distress a 72-year-old man, knowing full well that he is not the proper defendant. As documented in the FBI and IC3 complaints, this is a part of a broader pattern by Hales and Chockett targeting seniors, fabricating service, and turning the result into chaos into monetized online content. All while he sits on his fucking channel and makes monetized online content. Make it make fucking sense, because I'm sorry, it don't make fucking sense. Like, it doesn't, like, the more people talk, the less shit it makes sense. And if, John Cook, if you are still listening, I will stick to what I said back a couple streams ago that I know made it into a screenshot was sent to me of people talking about it in somebody's Discord, that I made the comment about you being the only one who's not making any money. I stick to that. Of everybody involved, defendant-wise, in Federal 2, John Cook is the only fucking person without a damn YouTube channel. Please tell me I'm wrong, but even Lynette has been monetizing the shit out of this. John Cook is the only person who's not making any money from this. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, like, not just playing devil's advocate, not taking anybody's side, but literally, if you look at all of the defendants, every single one of them has a fucking YouTube channel or wants to start a YouTube channel. Because didn't Lynette want to start a YouTube channel back in the day? Doesn't she have one that she just doesn't post to? But she was still the recipient of some of the money. John Cook is literally the only fucking person not monetized. I mean, just pointing out a fact. Like, it's an inconvenient fact for some people that want to call him a grifter. It's an inconvenient fact for him to realize that he's the only person that's not making any fucking money from this. And it's an inconvenient fact for some people that want to say that I'm being nice to him. No, I'm calling a spade a spade. This dude puts in this fucking motion that says turning the result into chaos, into monetized online content, while this fucker literally puts this shit on his YouTube channel. Make it make fucking sense, because, like, I don't fucking get it. Like, the hypocrisy is real, and if it's the one thing I hate besides liars, it's hypocrites. This court should not permit itself to be used as a prop in plaintiff abusive YouTube theatrics. All while someone sits on their channel and talks about a lawsuit that they haven't been served in Yet they're sitting there talking about the lawsuit and reading the lawsuit that they've never been served in. Make this shit make fucking sense, because ay. Hey, just dropping in to say Heidi ho to Heidi. Yeah, Randy has to put the nonsense in his filings. Yeah, I just like it just abusive process and elder abuse. This term, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I really don't get triggered by a lot of shit. However, using the words elder abuse, where it's not warranted, when I personally have seen it up close and personal with my patients, it triggers me, because you're taking away. It's just like using all those hot button ARPist, Yahtzee, all those terms that when you overuse them in places where they don't belong, you take away from the actual people who have been impacted by those terms. Like when you call someone a misogynist that's not, or when you call someone racist who's not, it takes away from people who have actually experienced racism. When you say elder abuse for no fucking reason at all, because you think it's going to hit at the heartstrings of the judge, it takes away from the people who have actually been abused. It's like calling an argument between a couple. Every couple argues because nobody gets along 100% of the time. It's like calling an argument or a disagreement DV. It is not. That there's no. But it's taking away from people who actually have suffered things. I hate when people do this. It's an actual I try to avoid Milwaukee. Oh, Squid, it will never make sense to people with common sense. Why do you try to avoid Milwaukee? I thought about it when it came to play the Brewers, but didn't. Why do you try to avoid Milwaukee? Milwaukee ain't that bad. I mean, I moved from there, but it's pretty. It's just cold. All right. What has occurred in this case is not mere procedural irregularity. It's abusive process in its purest form, compounded by the targeting of a senior citizen for harassment and spectacle. Plaintiff Jeremy Hales and his attorney Randall Shockett have knowingly weaponized this court's process not to vindicate any legitimate claim, but to harass, intimidate, and exploit an uninvolved elderly man, Richard A. Luthmann Sr. I'm sorry, but by filing this motion, y'all are the ones who are putting his name out there. Just saying. For their own strategic and financial benefit. Yes, $400,000 and whatever he's up to now in legal costs. Yeah, that's fucking profit if I've ever seen it. That's a financial benefit. Kasha! Everybody say happy birthday to Kasha. Fraudulent service is abusive process. Fraudulent affidavit of service filed on my birthday epitomizes abuse of process. It falsely claims that Richard Jr. had been served at Senior's home in Point Vedra by leaving papers with Janet E. Kellier Moulton, misidentified as stepmother. In reality, Jr. resides in Fort Myers and has never lived in Point Vedra and has no such stepmother. And neither Senior nor his household have ever been authorized to accept service for Jr. This was not a mistake. And correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't need to be authorized to accept service for someone. You just need to say, well, yeah, I know that person. They come around here, and it's like you're an adult over the age of 18 who is cognitively intact. Guess what? Oh, Sir Frank, happy birthday to your better half. This was not a mistake. It was knowing falsehood. Or known falsehood, if your English is correct. Executed after plaintiffs were explicitly warned in writing on August 4th that service at that house was invalid. Filing such affidavit would constitute fraud. The 11th Circuit has made it clear that fraudulent affidavits of service, Latin jurisdiction, because they corrupt the very mechanism by which a court exercises power over the parties. Filing such an affidavit constitutes fraud on the court, an affront to the judiciary's integrity that cannot be countenanced. My English. Federal crimes implicated. This is not only civil misconduct, it's criminal. Filing a knowingly false affidavit under the oath implicates federal perjury statutes. Perjury occurs when a person under oath willfully states any material matter which he does not believe to be true. Submitting a knowingly false proof of service to a federal tribunal also constitutes a felony false statement under 18 U.S. Code 1001. As Senior explained in his formal FBI complaint, the affidavit at issue is a deliberate falsehood designed to deceive this court into believing service had been perfected, when in truth it had not. Here we go again. Elder abuse by litigation. The consequences of these actions are particularly pernicious because they target a vulnerable senior. Excuse me while I clutch my invisible pearls. A 72-year-old law-abiding citizen, unlike his son, with no involvement in his son's journalism or this litigation, has been dragged into federal court proceedings as a pawn in Hale's monetized legal theatrics. As documented in both the FBI complaint and the IC3 filing, this pattern of behavior is not isolated. Hales has repeatedly targeted elderly individuals such as Senior and others, Bone Break of Iowa, as props for his online content. This is elder abuse, this deliberate use of the judicial process to frighten, harass, and exploit seniors for financial gain. No, playing devil's advocate, if this was true, he would only be targeting seniors. And unless I'm losing it, Lisa is not a senior, although she lives with seniors. Just saying. Just saying. Dan Davis, thanks for the $5 super chat. Big Al, nobody spent $438,000 so far to be put through all of this, and they will never recover it. From Big Al, never truer words spoken. Let me see what they. Oh, it is just a. Yeah. This is. Even if you did want to make legal content, you find somebody else's lawsuit. Like, I mean, yeah, Daddy's been on the YouTube channel, so I've heard. I haven't actually seen it because I don't have time to watch what I want to watch, let alone what I don't want to watch. And this is one of the other reasons that I can't take this seriously. This is a lawsuit filed in federal court in Florida. This has nothing. This is not necessary. This paragraph right here. President Trump has warned of paid agitators who monetize social discord by exploiting the vulnerable. Plaintiff's conduct here fits this description perfectly. This is not necessary. Like, none of this is necessary right here. Like, hey, Silver Fox, how are you? Thanks for checking in. I got her a cauldron and a weeping willow light up tree for her birthday. Our room is a Halloween year round. Hey, I have a cauldron. It's only like this big. I actually have to find it because I kind of need it right now. This filing is less useful than single-ply toilet paper. Yeah. I think this would be single-ply toilet paper. Just don't give yourself a paper cut. Like, I'm sorry, but like mentioning a quote from President Trump, not appropriate in this case. Not appropriate a lot of times. Yeah, nor is it what Trump meant. There's the other thing. It's just by manufacturing a sham service event at Senior's home, Hales and Shockett created the appearance of controversy where none exists. No, the controversy is the fact that you should have been served like 3 months ago. The controversy is that you keep avoiding it and they have to come up with alternate means of service. And their alternate means of service meant that you could file this fucking bullshit. Oh, yeah. Ethical violations by counsel. Oh, good lord. Shockett's role compounds the abuse. As an officer of the court, he is bound by the Florida rules of professional conduct. Is my whiny voice whiny enough, or do I need to like step it up a notch? Yeah, the controversy was hidden ducking service. Yeah, or at a minimum, filing a knowingly false affidavit of service. Shockett has violated Rule 4-3.3A1, prohibiting a false statement of fact to a tribunal, and Rule 4.8.4C, prohibiting conduct involving dishonesty, fraud, deceit, or misrepresentation. Sorry, I tried to come up with tears, but I'm not a very good actress. More fry. Like, I can't do that. Oh my god, that actually really hurts my voice. Take that whiny and step it up a notch or two. Oh, that's much better. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this right here. Like, I don't know everything that happened because I try not to pay attention. But like, I've heard things. The Florida precedent is clear. Knowingly filing false affidavit warrants severe sanctions, including suspension or disbarment. Yeah, you would know. That misconduct is magnified when it weaponizes the court process against an elderly homeowner who is not even a party. In summary, the fraudulent service attempt is not procedural hiccup, but rather an abuse of this court's authority, a violation of federal law, and a form of abuse. I hate that word. Plaintiffs have weaponized the judicial process for harassment and YouTube clicks. The court should recognize the misconduct for what it is: fraud on the court, abusive process, which demands the denial of plaintiff's motion, and consideration of sanctions. Oh, the only person who's going to be sanctioned is you for that first fucking paragraph. And lying. Defense under Rules 8, 9, and 12. Plaintiff's second amended complaint is not a valid pleading. It's a textbook example of what the 11th Circuit condemns as a shotgun pleading, rife with conclusory allegations, misjoinder, and conflated identities. It fails under federal rules of civil procedure 8, 9, and 12, and therefore cannot serve as a basis for jurisdiction or default. I don't even think a wambulance would pick him up. Rule 8A2, shotgun pleading and group allegations. Rule 8 requires a short and plain statement of the claim, showing that the pleader is entitled to relief. Instead, the second amended complaint indiscriminately lumps defendants together, repeatedly refers to Richard Luthmann, without distinguishing between senior and junior. You don't go by junior. Incorporates all proceedings and paragraphs into every count. The 11th Circuit has consistently condemned this practice, identifying shotgun pleadings as those that fail to give the defendants adequate notice of the claims against them and the grounds upon which each claim rests. Dismissing amended complaint that perpetuated shotgun defects, plaintiff's failure to distinguish between senior and junior violates Rule 8 and deprives both court and defendants fair notice. Rule 9b, lack of particularity in fraud allegations. The amended complaint peppers its count with allegations of fraud, conspiracy, and deceit, yet fails to meet Rule 9b's heightened standard. Rule 9b requires a party alleging fraud to state with particularity the circumstances constituting fraud. The 11th Circuit requires that a complaint specify the who, what, when, where, what, and how of the allegedly fraudulent statements. Plaintiff's amended complaint fails spectacularly on this front. It does not identify which statements were made by Senior because he made none. Nor does it specify dates, locations. Oh my god, this fucking like, hey, beep beep, just a drive-through lurker. Like, whining needs to go up a couple of notches. I cannot be like, I can be annoying. Don't get me wrong. Ask Mr. Squid. But I literally can't be that annoying for that long. I just, yeah. Why is Senior arguing a complaint that he is not in? Make it make sense. Like a retired pharmacist knows all these legal rules. Yeah. I do need a voice changer though, because that would definitely help. Oh. The allegations are vague, conclusory, and insufficient to survive Rule 9 scrutiny. Rule 12b2, lack of personal jurisdiction. Oh my god, this personal jurisdiction. The sovereign citizen argument. This court lacks personal jurisdiction over Senior. He's not a party to the alleged acts, nor is he in contact with the forum connected to plaintiff's claims. That has been hailed. God, once again, his grammar is done purposely stupid. This litigation only by fraudulent service and conflated pleadings. Personal jurisdiction must be based on defendant's own contact with the forum, not the conduct of another person. To subject Senior to jurisdiction based on Junior's alleged acts is unconstitutional. A voice mod? I'll look into it. Do you ever know, like, this wine's worse than an unpaid worker of negotiable affection. I'm just gonna leave that one right there. No idea. I haven't even looked into it. I don't know. I might be able to put some stuff on my my Stream Deck, but I don't know. Holy shit. Rule 12b4 and b5, insufficient process and service. Here we go again. Fraudulent affidavit of service is void for the reasons already explained. Where service is defective, the court lacks jurisdiction. Same case as before. Plaintiff's reliance on false service and conflated identities make their motion procedurally and jurisdictionally defective. Holy. 12b6. Say 12b6 one more frickin' time. I swear. Failure to state a claim. I swear we've heard this argument from every defendant in every case Jeremy has filed. Stream Deck has the voice mod integration. I'll have to do it. Even assuming arguendo that the service was valid, the amended complaint fails to state a claim against Senior. No, you don't go by Junior, you dumb fuck. Oh, sweet baby dumpster Jesus, please. And Hazel Money Angle, thank you for the 10 pounds. I didn't mean to skip your super chat towards whatever. Thank you. It's going to be towards garage organization because I went a little overboard on it's Amazon Prime Day and I'm not done shopping yet. Because here comes everybody's favorite cases that we've mentioned thousands of times on this channel. Oh my goodness. A complaint must plead sufficient factual content to allow the court to draw the reasonable inference that the defendant is liable for the alleged misconduct alleged. Ashcroft v. Iqbal and Bell Atlantic Corporation v. Twombly. Bell v. Twombly and Ashcroft v. Iqbal is like the most named for. Shock collar for all involved. Oh my God. Did y'all see the... I don't even know who that dude is. The shock collar on his dog that he uses as a prop in a live stream. The amended complaint does not allege a single act by Senior. No fucking shit, dude. Would that state a claim? If true, would state a claim. Plaintiff's attempt to substitute innuendo and guilt by association for factual allegations is precisely the type of pleading Iqbal and Twombly forbid. In sum, plaintiff's amended complaint is incurably defective. It fails Rule 8's notice, Rule 9's fraud, particularity requirement, and cannot stand Rule 12's scrutiny. It's shotgun pleading designed to not state a claim, but to ensnare Senior through conflation, harassment, and elder abuse. Stop mentioning elder abuse. Oh my God. This court should reject plaintiff's attempt to proceed on such defective pleadings. Lack of constitutional notice, even if plaintiffs could somehow claim compliance with the technicalities of Rule 4, which they cannot. Their actions still fail the higher bar imposed by the Constitution. Due process clause requires the defendant receive notice, reasonably calculated under all the circumstances, to apprise interested parties of the pendency of the action and afford them an opportunity to present their objections. This is where the case precedent and setting the precedent of talking about something on your YouTube channel is evidence that you've been served. Could this be the case of multiple criminalities just having to be father and son? I have no idea. No, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does, considering he apparently was on the YouTube channel too. So here's my grift. If y'all would like to Baby Squid is very angry that she is out of chocolate milk and we no longer have any in the house. So my grift for the day, because I'm so bad at it, and I'm not getting any better, is if you would like to contribute to Baby Squid's chocolate milk fund, please do. Yeah, he's doing that crap on purpose. Hey, vet firefighter, how are you? Oh yes, Hassan Piker. Thank you. I had heard Hassan Piker's name, but I had never seen his face. I was watching Camelot last night. The man looks like a 40-year-old child. He looks like he should be in diapers. But like, I know people who use shock collars for training purposes, not to keep their dog as a prop in the back of their freaking live stream. No chocolate milk. Nope, no chocolate milk. Oh yeah, my Amazon wish list right now, and there's a lot of stuff that's on there that's on Prime Day. So, reasonably calculated under all circumstances. Well, how about you stop dodging service? Bye, Dan. Have a good one. This requirement is fundamental. Without constitutionally adequate notice, jurisdiction cannot attach, and any resulting judgment is void. Collapsing Senior and Junior defeats fair notice. And Robert Ward, thanks for the $5 super chat. Baby Squid Chocolate Milk Fund. Sounds like Senior is just as big of a jerk as Junior. Junior needs to go back. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Hey, Snowflower. Has anybody seen Malin lately? Just a thing. I sent the voice mod website to your DMs. Thank you. All right. And then he mentions again that he was a 72-year-old pharmacist with no involvement in his son's journalism or online disputes. has been forced into defending himself against claims. No, he hasn't. If his son would just step up and accept service and not be a pussy, this would not be a problem. But somebody has to be a fucking pussy. Yeah. Hey, Gunny. Whoops, sorry. Gunny Tie. Senior was not served. The paperwork was given to the stepmothers, so knew not for Senior, and showed on a live he was in possession of the papers. So if anyone has abused Senior, it's Luthmann himself. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Like, if you, the problem with my problem with the people who have not yet been served in this is they keep saying that they're right. Jeremy is this awful person. And regardless of how anybody feels about Jeremy, if you think you are right, be a fucking man. Stop being a baby. My 3-year-old could accept more responsibility than some of these fucking people. Fight it out in court. It's not hard. If you think you're right, why do you have such a problem defending yourself in court? If you think you are in the right, go defend yourself. It's really not a, like, I mean, am I wrong? Please enlighten me. Like, if I'm wrong, like, please tell me. Because I have no problem with learning, hearing other people, and changing my opinion based on having increased knowledge. It's that's the, yeah. Well, Baby Squid is absolutely adorable and would win in court. Yeah, the court of public opinion. Freckled, how are you? Ah. I just can't even, like. Fraudulent affidavit cannot confer constitutional notice. This fucking thing again. They're repeating the same thing over and over again. Elder abuse, physical injury, and psychological impact. This is the psychological impact is the blue tape argument, right? The context exacerbates the constitutional deficiency. Plaintiffs choose to target a senior citizen with fraudulent service to manufacture a jurisdictional hook. Senior was blindsided by legal documents left with a stranger at his home, documents that purported to bind him to a sprawling federal case over YouTube disputes in which he has no role. Stupid. The abusive process inflicted not only fear, confusion, and reputational harm, but also caused Senior to suffer serious personal injuries. Oh my god. I'm just so fucking sick of it. As documented in his Oh, that's interesting. Well, that was interesting. We just had a big old power surge. Sorry. This is where that confused me, and I'm glad you pointed that out, because I was yeah. I suffer elder abuse when my girls come bring me cauliflower or cabbage steak instead of a real steak. Yeah, both in Florida. Opposite coasts, I think. Senior experienced severe emotional distress, mental anguish, and physical injury as a direct result of the stress and disorientation caused by plaintiff's fraudulent tactics. Okay, I'm not familiar with Senior. However, he's 72, which means he was born in 53 ish. He was born in the the 50s. Because 50 would make him 75. So 53, roughly. Math on the fly. Don't get me. So he was born in basically the end of the Korean War. So he's probably not a little bitch. So emotional distress caused by paperwork that isn't even related to you. You want water? Those were a little spicy, huh? Yeah. Okay. She stole my protein chips, but they were the Quest protein chips, and they were spicy sweet chili. So she came to steal my water. Oh, there's the. Sorry, y'all. If y'all hear a helo. Yep. There's the Marine Corps helo that flies over my house at least once a day. I wonder if that and that are correlated. Oh my god. I'm sorry. People born in the 50s, generally speaking, minus some politicians, aren't little bitches and don't get emotionally distressed by a piece of paper. I'm just saying. Now people born in like 2000 can get distressed and physically like ill from a fucking piece of paper. But 1953 generally not harmed by a piece of paper. So this is just weird. But also caused Senior to suffer serious personal injuries. It's documented in his FBI and IC3 complaints. Senior experienced severe emotional distress, mental anguish, and physical injury as a direct result of the stress and disorientation caused by plaintiff's fraudulent tactics. In one incident, the shock and emotional destabilization contributed to a slip and fall accident in which Senior fractured his 7th rib. I'm really sorry that he fractured his rib. And that is painful. However, that sounds like more of a he needs a rehab program and not Jeremy caused him to break his rib because I am being sued. Like I fucked up, I'm being sued, and therefore Jeremy caused my dad to break his rib. The fucking logic here is like, what kind of mental fucking gymnastics and what the hell are y'all smoking in Florida? Like, I'm just saying, what is in whatever y'all are smoking in Florida? Because if y'all can do this fucking mental gymnastics, I want whatever y'all are smoking because it sounds kind of fun. If you can be this delusional. Who spiked the Delulu lemonade? Just saying. I'm really sorry if he truly fractured his rib because that is painful as hell. That hurts to breathe. These harms underscore the profound consequences of the plaintiff's misconduct, a senior citizen uninvolved in his son's affairs. Well, if his son would be a man instead of a child and accept service, this never would have happened. So this is a direct result of a son acting like a child and not a grown-ass man whose balls haven't dropped yet. Just saying. Was left physically injured and emotionally traumatized by being made an unwilling prop in plaintiff's monetized litigation scheme. And these people are like the mainstream fucking media because every fucking motion has the same fucking monetized litigation scheme. And if you look at mainstream media and you see them talk about the same things, you can pick out the literally same key phrases in every story on every news channel. Oh yeah, the mental fucking gymnastics. Simone Biles level gymnast here. Like Olympic level mental gymnastics, I'm telling you. 11th Circuit precedent confirms voidness. 11th Circuit has consistently invalidated judgments entered without constitutionally sufficient notice. Be a man, let your balls drop. Or take them off the shelf of Felice's house. Because somebody stole your balls. I don't know who, nor do I really care, but take them bitches back. Before a federal court may exercise personal jurisdiction over a defendant, because a man with no balls is not a good look. The procedural requirement of service of summons must be satisfied. Actual notice cannot cure defective service. Plaintiffs' reliance on fraudulent affidavits and conflated identities strip their motion of any legitimacy under the Constitution. In short, plaintiffs' actions do not even come close to satisfying the constitutional notice requirements established in Mullane and enforced by the 11th Circuit. Their fraudulent affidavit and conflation of father-son amount to nothing only to defective service, but to due process violation and to severe. People love that due process violation. Like, that is their favorite thing to freaking, like, yeah, gold medal. People born in the 50s have common sense. That's true, too. Gift of balls for those in need. Stats. Can I steal that? Oh, my God. Make Asylum's great again. Yeah. I broke 2 ribs in the middle of the night while sleeping. Have no idea how. Struggled to breathe. He probably sneezed. Welcome to getting old. Yeah, common sense isn't so common. Common sense is like toddlerhood. Up, down, left, right. Put your shoes on. Put on deodorant. Don't be a fuckhead. It's not hard. Hey, La La Land. I believe his balls are still in his prison cell. Oh, they belong to his cellmate, don't they? Oh my goodness. I'm so enjoying this stream. Oh, thank you. Nobody talks about balls like us. Jesus. Oh, on the bright side, I don't have a headache anymore. I wasn't old when I did it. How dare you? Oh my goodness. And was going to look a lot, trying to keep off haters' minds after many years of their inception in jellyfish, jelly beans, and jelly balls. Guess what? Stats. If people hate on you, just ask them what they'd like you, or what paint colors they'd like for that apartment that you have in their heads. Just saying. Yes. In short, plaintiff's actions do not even come close to satisfying blah, blah, blah. Such foundation would be void. This court should refuse to be a party to such violation and deny plaintiff's motion outright. Relief requested. Ugh. Deny plaintiff's motion to declare service valid for default. Strike fraudulent affidavit of service. Dismiss any claims purporting to include defendant senior, because see, and here's the thing. They don't put Luthmann senior, they just put Luthmann, which honestly could be either one of them legally. Because if you've ever seen Luthmann sign anything, does he sign it? And this is another thing I gotta look into. For next week, on the motion that he filed, does he sign Luthmann or does he sign Luthmann Jr.? In something that doesn't have to do with him and Jeremy Hales. Because if he doesn't sign Luthmann Jr. on legal paperwork that he files, just a thought. What's up, Angel? You want water? Okay. You're only supposed to take a sip, not take the whole thing. Just taking my notes, doing diligent. Today's your daughter's birthday? Today's a popular birthday. Oh, and today's my aunt's second birthday up in heaven. So happy heavenly birthday. It's I've got to say, broken ribs do hurt. I had a few from the old race car days.
Mommy.
What's up, baby?
Teeth, Mommy.
Your teeth? We'll do your teeth when Mommy's done streaming, okay?
Mommy.
You're welcome. I think. I caught part of that, but some of that was toddler, and my translating skills don't always work sometimes. Sanction plaintiff and counsel. Okay, I admit he got his balls back for this one, because it's really ballsy to ask the judge to sanction the plaintiffs and counsel when you do something like this. Paid internet agitator, elder abuser, degenerate, closeted, homosexual, and alligator fucker. It's really ballsy to put that as the plaintiff in a legal filing, and in the same filing ask for sanctions for the plaintiff and counsel. You got some monster-sized balls to be asking that. They might not have any semen in them. You might be dried up, boy. But you got monster balls for that one. Because... You got a straw? What do you want to come up here? I mean... Her channel might not be monetized. I never said her channel. She's an idiot because I never said her channel was monetized. I said she's the only one who hasn't made any money because she's gotten. Correct me if I'm wrong. But correct me if I'm wrong. Shh, for just 1 second, okay? John hasn't been the recipient of any of the. His name hasn't been on any of the Give, Send, Goes, or GoFundMe's. She hasn't gotten all the money. There's a question on where some of the money has gone. However, her name has been the recipient of some of the money from some GoFundMe's. John has not. His name has not been on any of those GoFundMe's. It was hers or HG's, and her as a result of HG being underage. So she's a thunder cow because she knows what I mean when I say she's the only one who hasn't made any money. I never said her. And I said she's the only one without a YouTube, or he's the only one without a YouTube channel. I never said monetized YouTube channel. Lynette, you dumb cunt. So. Yeah, probably. So. Yeah, she's watching even though she never watches. Yeah. She's nuts. I don't believe she knows what she's saying most of the time. It's one of those things of like, no, because I know that my chat has ended up in different people's Discords and people have commented, and even the screenshots that I saw about people talking about what I had said, even made the comment about I had said that John was the only person not making money. And I said, no, I said John was the only person of the defendants not making money. The defendants not making money. And even those were supposedly what the Hale's groupies, and they couldn't even get that shit right. Right, Ghost Mole? Like, when you know, you know. So, Angel, you want this? I'm not giving you my phone. You have an iPad. This is what happened. Can I wave to the mentally challenged lurkers? Yes. What are you pointing at? She's pointing at something and I have no idea what she's pointing at. What would you like? You can't have my microphone. Hey, hold on. Wave. You wanna wave to the haters? What color would you like to paint your room? Pink. Pink? Okay. Pink. We're gonna to all the haters, Baby Squid wants a pink room inside your head. Want strawberries? Yeah. So, like Princess Carrie, I can assure you, I didn't tell her anything. And John, John, if this really is you, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm all up for correcting the record if I'm wrong. But on the Give Send Goes that you guys have received, she's been on them. You haven't. Well, Daddy's home. Daddy's home. Now I no longer exist. I and the chat are invisible. Her prince is home. Her Prince Charming is home. Yeah, I'm convinced that many JH supporters do more damage in this case than some what the Hale supporters. Yeah, and here's my thing. And this came to a big impasse and a big thing with me with the Charlie Kirk case. With all the conspiracy theories and everything going on and all the rumors and stuff. I haven't talked about the conspiracy theories because I base my opinions and on facts and things that I see in the court. I don't go based on who said this and what said this, but with everything in that situation and who has been able, what can the defense use of YouTubers who are talking about things that are fabricated things or conspiracies that might give the defense, in that case, some reasonable doubt, shall you say. What can the defense use here? And this is not legal advice for anybody on the defense. However, what can the defense use here of things that have gone cuckoo on with some of Jeremy Hale's supporters? Yeah, poof, just like that, she's gone. Yep. Daddy's girl. Daddy's girl. I try. Sometimes it rears its ugly head because my screenshots end up on different people's channels and things like that. But it's, but for the most part, when it does, I either try to quash it or I just stop talking to people. And that's why I say I don't work well with others. But Gunny, I have a question. Gunny, were you a Marine? Because, I like my Marines here. I have crayons for y'all. Green and red, to be specific. All right. We're almost done with this, but I just find it laughable how for someone that called Jeremy Hale's, and generally I don't call people names on this channel because of the fact that, like, I am all about treat people how you want to be treated. However, Bubbles and Fleesa talked about my daughter, so you can never come back from that, especially when they've never apologized for that. So, oh yeah, yeah, it's just it's one of those things. To call Jeremy, whether you like him or not, you can hate somebody and still have a common decency and not like John comes in here. I'm not 100% convinced that it is John Cook completely. I'm sorry if it is. I'm not convinced that it is. However, he might go into other chats and be a disrespectful fuck. However, he comes in here and he's not. I don't know if that's because I just don't go, oh, John Cook, you're an ass, you're this, and just boot him right away or just be rude to him just because he's here. No, the only way that I can get people to be respectful to me is be respectful to them. And I'd like to think that although I do dislike some people, generally the general public, when I talk, doesn't know who I do or don't like. That's the goal. Yeah, and that's pretty much it too. I think it's a good day on stream when Squid still has her drink glass when she finishes. Yeah. Well, yes, and yeah. Well, Blue Icon JC is there is another John Cook because I'm sorry, John Cook is not a like John Cook is like John Smith. It's not a hard name, but there is a John Cook who's actually from the Poconos who's like, don't confuse me with the other one. It's my actual name, but I live in Pennsylvania. So it's, yeah. Part of me thinks that he is, but, and it's like one of those things of like, I'm sure that's why my screenshot from my, my chat showed up in a couple of live streams is because he was respectful here, and yeah, he was telling his story, whatever, but like he wasn't given any shit. Do I believe everything he says? No, but like, you know what? That's okay. He doesn't have to believe everything I say, and I don't have to believe everything he says. But he's here, and he's respectful. So, you know, like as long as someone's respectful, I don't have to like them or even want to be friends to be respectful to someone. Like it, if you go into it, yeah, it's just, you know what I mean. No, mate, as an Aussie, it's my nickname. Gunny means oh okay. Okay, because Gunny here is a rank, so is a rank for Marines. So, oh, Bikini Lawyer, how are you? His two filings just got stricken for obscene content. Docket entry number 18. Oh, thank you. That they actually did get stricken. Okay, because I had looked before I started this stream and I didn't see anything, but because I always check right before I go live because I'm like, let me just do a last minute check, and I figured that the judge wasn't going to be happy with the fact that the first paragraph. But I also am not a lawyer, so I never claim to know that if something gets stricken is, you know, I never claim to know, you know. Oh, thank you. And if you ever want to come on and talk about this, because this is, I'm fascinated by this, and I'm like, yeah. Yeah, Squid is an example of it. A JH fan sent him a screenshot of Squid's chat and told him she is an anti-What the Hales channel that routes attention to places that waste time. Yeah, and I heard that screenshot made its way to that screenshot made its way to another chat yesterday, or another live stream yesterday. I don't know if that's true or not. I got a couple messages about it, but I haven't actually seen like the chat myself or the stream itself to confirm. It's just one of those like, oh yeah, 118 and 119 are out. Oh, good Lord. Okay. So 117 we never actually got to. Okay, so we're just going to finish this. Consider referral for investigation, grant other such relief. Yeah, on October 5th. So this was supposedly signed by Richard Luthmann Sr. Okay? So we are going to share my screen again. I still StreamYard's supposedly been making improvements. Great, fine, whatever. The one improvement that I really wish they would work on is to be able to share multiple windows at the same time and just click between them and not have to stop sharing. The ecosystem just posted that Squid is LP. Is that Lips's target today? Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is 116 is stricken and 117 is stricken. So plaintiff's motion for substitute service is stricken. So we're going to see this document right now. And I have to download this just real quick, so bear with me. Otherwise, I will forget and I'll have to pay for it again. And remember, we ball on a budget here. So if I forget to download, I have to reorder or repay for things again. And good Lord, we don't want to do that. Because 10 cents a page might not seem a lot, but when you are covering multiple federal documents at the same, or federal cases at the same time, shit adds up quick. All right. Yeah, that was stricken. And then 117, which I was going to read tomorrow, was a filing from Luthmann Jr. about himself. And it was like, yeah. So it's, but if this was, I'm Lips's target today. Oh, well. Oh, elemental P's. Okay. Like I'm supposed to fucking care. Once again, like, it's one of the, just screenshot the post and send it to me, and I'll just put it in the bless your heart file and save it for later. It's just one of those, it's just one of those, you know, have a good day. I hope everything is okay. All right. Order before the court is plaintiff's motion for substitute service processed by email. Document 113. In the motion, plaintiff seeks authorization to serve Teschendorf by email. Plaintiffs claim that they have tried without success to serve defendant Teschendorf by traditional means. For the reasons below, the motion is denied. Just move for service by publication per Wisconsin law. They might already be on it. Yeah, Wisconsin, you can put like an or like a thing in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel and call it a day. Make your bless your heart box to put all the hate comments in for that. I have a bless your heart file. So when people send me screenshots and screen recordings, I literally have a file on my computer called bless your heart. And I look at it and I put it in the bless your heart file. So if I need it for later for evidence or anything, I have it. But out of sight, out of mind. I'm blissfully unaware of shit. In order for me to care about what haters say, or in order for what haters say to affect me, I have to care. So in order for me to care, I don't know what has to happen for me to care, but I just don't. I'm too lazy to care. Rule 4E of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure governs service of process on an individual defendant within the U.S. The rule provides that an individual defendant may be served in several different ways. First is by personally delivering the summons and complaint to the individual defendant. FRCP 4E2A, The second way is by leaving the summons and complaint at the individual defendant's residence with someone of a suitable age and discretion who resides there. The blue tape debacle. The third way is delivery of the summons and complaint to an agent authorized by appointment or by law to receive service of process. FRCP 4E2C. Finally, service may be accomplished by following the service laws of either the state where the federal court hearing the case is located or the state where service is made. FRCP 4E1. Here, the plaintiff alleged that they have unsuccessfully tried to personally serve defendant Teschendorf. Thus, they seek to serve defendant Teschendorf by email. Recognizing that the federal service rules, the provisions of Rule 4E2A through C, do not authorize email service, plaintiffs invoke Rule 4E1 as the basis for email service. More specifically, they claim that the law of the state where the court is located, Florida, and the law of the state where service would be made, Wisconsin, authorize service by email. See generally Dyer v. Walmart. Footnote 1, plaintiffs say that defendant Teschendorf resides in Wisconsin. He does. He lives in the same county as my family. I've had to actually warn my family that if you see this person anywhere, turn around and walk the other direction. Stating that a plaintiff may use any method of service allowed in the state where the district court is located or where the service is made. So the question before the court today is, does the law of either Florida or Wisconsin authorize service by email? The answer to the question is no. Florida law. Plaintiffs have not cited any precedent from any court finding that Florida law authorizes service by email. Nor could the court find any. What the court did find, however, were cases, including one from another judge on this court, stating that Florida law does not authorize email service on individual defendants. Bodner v. Thunderbird, Products Corporation, Northern District of Florida, 2019, stating that Florida law does not provide for service process by email. My question is how did Jeremy, or how did Randy not know this? How did you? No, the sad part is the addresses that keep having for it. Like I keep getting Zillow updates about those addresses, and I'm like, I just don't care. Wisconsin, I believe you can serve, as the bikini lawyer said, you can serve by putting it in a paper. So you can put an ad in the paper. And the sad part about that is you don't actually have to. And this is where I think the court needs to, and the law needs to catch up to electronic times, because you can publish an article or an ad in the paper and you can serve that way. However, you cannot serve by email to a known email address. But how many people actually read the paper? It's not the 1950s or 60s or even the 80s where 90% of people get the paper delivered to their house every day. People will check their email every day and get stuff by email. It's where the law, in my opinion, like I said, feel free to disagree with me, but it's where, in my opinion, the law and the laws of this country have not caught up with technology. All right. Although in certain situations, Florida law authorizes email service on corporations, LLCs, and other business entities, there appears to be no provision of Florida law that authorizes email service on individual defendants. Well, he didn't ask for email service, he asked for alternative service. However, email was one of the alternative service ways that he asked for. And I think email was the alternative service that he asked for. I don't remember the exact quote of the Hold on, I got a cough. There we go. Yeah, the law is lagged by a couple decades. But in this case, it's more than a couple decades. Because it's, and here's the thing, is and here's the other thing, is Teschendorf technically an LLC? There's so many questions that I just explaining that Florida legislature chose to permit email service in certain situations for business entities under that Florida statute, but legislature chose not to authorize email service for individuals. Refusing to authorize email service because Florida law does not permit service by email. Recognizing that service cannot be accomplished in Florida by email or submission of service to a third party via the internet. Refusing to allow email service on a defendant located in Florida because the Florida rules do not provide a mechanism for service of process by email. The only provision of Florida law cited in plaintiff's motion is Florida Statute 48.181. Plaintiffs have not, however, explained how this statute supports their position. 48.181 sets forth a substituted service regimen for non-residents and foreign businesses that have conducted business in Florida and concealed their whereabouts. Under the substituted service regimen or regime, a qualifying individual or foreign business is deemed to have designated the Secretary of State as its agent on whom process in any action or proceeding may be served in accordance with this section. Nothing in plaintiff's motion mentions designation of the Secretary of State or otherwise demonstrates compliance with the substitute service requirements set forth in Florida Statute 48.181. And even if the substitute service requirements had been met, the court fails to see anything in 48.181 that would authorize service by emailing the summons and complaint to an individual defendant as proposed by the plaintiffs. Because plaintiffs have cited nothing in Florida law that authorizes email service on an individual defendant, and everything the court has found says Florida law does not authorize email service, the court will not authorize email service on defendant Teschendorf under Florida law. Wisconsin law. Plaintiffs have not cited any precedent supporting the position that Wisconsin law authorizes email service on individual defendants, nor could the court find any. What the court did find, again, however, were the cases stating that Wisconsin law does not authorize email service on individual defendants. Cloku versus Verizon Communications. Neither the federal rules nor Wisconsin law governing service of process allows service by email. Rejecting service by email because it's not authorized by federal rules of civil procedure or Wisconsin law. Footnote, to be clear, the court is not taking any position on whether the substitute service positions of Florida Statute 48.181 would apply to defendant Teschendorf. In other words, the court is not taking any position on whether defendant Teschendorf has engaged in a business venture in Florida or whether he has taken action to conceal his whereabouts. The court is simply explaining that even if these things were true, Florida Statute 48.181 does not authorize service on defendant Teschendorf by email in the manner proposed by plaintiff's motion. I just can't. Ugh. The only provision of Wisconsin law cited by plaintiffs is Wisconsin Statute 801.11, but that statute does not address email service. Because plaintiffs have cited nothing in Wisconsin law that authorizes email service on an individual defendant, and everything the court has found says that Wisconsin law does not authorize email service, the court rejects plaintiffs' request to serve defendant Teschendorf by email under Wisconsin law. Footnotes 4 and 5. The Wisconsin statute does authorize service by publication if certain requirements are met, but plaintiffs have sought service by email and not service by publication. How much you want to bet we're going to see a service by publication? Plaintiff's motion cites 2 cases in support of the request for email service. The cited cases, however, do not support plaintiff's argument. Neither of the cases involved service by email under Florida or Wisconsin law. One of the cited cases, Global Impacts versus Specialty Fibers, Northern District of Georgia, 2015, involved service by email under California law. Although courts interpreting California law have accepted service via email, California law does not apply in the current situation. The other case, Mapping Your Future, Inc. v. Mapping Your Future Services, is distinguishable. That case involved service of process in a foreign country under Rule 4F. Rule 4F is inapplicable here because there is no allegation defendant Teschendorf is in a foreign country. Moreover, the Mapping Your Future court refused to permit email service under Rule 4F because, quote, sending a copy of a summons and complaint by electronic mail to a defendant in a foreign country is not a method of service of process permitted by applicable international law. Thus, the decision in Mapping Your Future does not help plaintiff's argument. For the reasons above, the motion for substitute service of process by email is denied. I mean, he's not wrong. Yeah, new motion incoming. We will wait. Magistrate Potted Plant is really proving he isn't capable of running a courtroom. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree with this particular motion. It sounds like their motion for service by email. And looking at the document 113, let's see what it actually... The document that Randy filed was motion for substitute service of process by email, not substitute service of process. So, yeah, he's basically saying, I'm denying the service process by email because nowhere in Wisconsin law does it say. I see your point, and I see being upset, and I understand being upset, but literally this is not Potted Plant's problem. This is a Jeremy and Randy problem. This is a Randy writing a poor motion problem. Because the judge literally just showed in his motion that you can't serve by email an individual because the 2 states that you're talking about, Florida and Wisconsin, do not allow service by email. So you legally cannot do it. No, Randy's motion literally did motion for substitute service of process by email. It literally specified email in the title. This is the motion that was filed. It literally motion for substitute service of process by email. That it's literally in the title. So while I don't deny that he's evading service, like I completely he's the only thing that he mentions is they permit substitute service, which they do. But he literally says substitute process of email. Look, this is what they requested. So when you say, Jeremy, this is not accurate. Jeremy didn't specify only email service. The judge picked that one out. No, he literally did. Wherefore, plaintiff respectfully requests that this court grant motion for substitute service of process by email. Authorize plaintiffs to serve the summons, complaint, and all subsequent pleadings and papers upon the defendant Teschendorf via email. They did. That's literally what they asked for. That's what they asked for. Like, I'm literally showing you what Jeremy asked for. So I hate to say it, JW, but you're wrong in this case, because that's literally, that's all they asked for. They didn't ask for substitute service by any other means besides email. Oh, and this has nothing to do with how I feel about Teschendorf. This is nothing to do with whether I think he's evading service or not. This is strictly based on Jeremy's motion or Randy's motion and the response from the judge. The title is Motion for Substitute Service of Process by Email. And after they explain everything that he's done, they literally asked, the only thing they literally asked for, I don't know how many times I can literally show it. Like, I can literally, this is what was asked for. Like, yeah, this shows the judge is unbiased and the magistrate is absolutely correct in his denial based on current service laws. Yeah. They literally only asked for grant this motion for substitute service process by email, authorize plaintiff to serve summons, complaint, and all subsequent pleadings and papers upon defendant Teschendorf via email. Deem such service complete upon plaintiff's filing of proof that email was sent and not returned as undeliverable. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't. So this is why we go back, and this is why we save documents, and we only look at the documents, because we don't go by what was said on this channel. And I said I asked for more things, or because shit, with so many people talking about so many different things, and this is also why I go by the documents, because with my cognitive issues, I can't remember who said what and when they said it and how many times they said it. So things to me is like a giant game of telephone between people, different people's streams, Discord chats, Instagram, Facebook pages. Things are like a giant game of telephone and they get misconstrued. So I always rely on the documents to be like, the documents say this. So when this comment of Randy's motion did not specify only email service, yes, it did. It doesn't matter what is in the rest of the 18 pages. The 18 pages, it only matters what is that, wherefore we ask for this. We ask the court, blah, 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 which is one paragraph. The other stuff is the supporting facts of why you want that. However, it's like asking your parents for, this is a simplified version, but asking your parents to extend your curfew. I've done this, 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 I've done this. This person has done this, can I have an extended curfew? At the end of the day, no matter what you put in the last 5 minutes of conversation with your parents, all you're asking for is one question. It does help, though, in showing the steps that have been taken this far to complete service, not a loss. They will adopt a different approach and proceed. No, I think it was I think it was a good try. I just think it was I wouldn't have just asked for email knowing that Wisconsin and I would have asked for alternative service. I just wouldn't have asked for email. I might have asked I might have included email. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer. However, when you ask for just email, and just email, an email is not allowed in Wisconsin or Florida for an individual, the judge has no point. Because if the judge were to approve that, that's an appealable decision. Like, had they asked for alternative service by publication for 4 consecutive weeks, magistrate would have in all likelihood approved it. Yeah. Yeah, my memory is the same since my CSF tear. I can put the receiver down after a phone call and not know who I was spoken to. I was to the point where I would have my patient list in my pocket. I would look at the patient, their name, their date of birth, and why they were there, and my plan of attack, so to speak. However, I would put it in my pocket. I would knock on their door and forget what their damn name is. So, yes. Also, the judge pointed it out, basically said, refile this motion with, this. Although Wisconsin does allow alternate service, just not with that. I agree. I agree. That's where I think the problem is not with Judge Bolitho, but with state laws. That state laws have not caught up to 21st century means of communication yet. Back when these laws were written, email didn't exist. Everybody got the paper. The paper was how you got your news. Squid's making a list, checking it twice. Got to find out if TheraBands are ice. Oh my god. Oh. Dementia, so young, Squid. Stats, I had brain surgery, ma'am. Okay. Like, I sent this to someone, and I have to, because someone sent me a t-shirt idea, well, an idea for a t-shirt. They had sent me a picture of it sent me an idea of a picture that said something about, I've got holes in my brain. This was me. So let's see. This is what I sent them. Your skull on Chiari. Any questions? I was like, yep, that's me. That's me. My brain just spewing out the bottom of my head. See, in this case, in this situation, that is not case precedent. That is state law. So that would have to go through state legislatures to change. And we all know how nobody can get shit done these days because, So, I was kidding. I know you've had mind-altering life occurrences. Just can only offer mind tricks and hugs. Yeah, that's why I write shit down. That's why I have notebooks and a giant ass freaking planner, like in a chair next to my desk with all my papers. My mind wandered and just didn't listen. Yeah, my mind is too big for my head. That's it. All right, guys. And then the other thing is I saved that. Okay. I had to make sure I saved it. Because, it was only 80 cents, but that's 80 cents that, I don't want to pay for twice. And then obviously this will be our last thing before we call it a day. This is just the motion striking Richard Luthmann Sr. is a non-party, has filed 2 documents in this case that contain an obscene and improper case caption. Both documents are stricken. See Fisher v. Whitlock, finding that the district court properly exercised its discretion to so strike an improper motion from the docket. And JKD Buck, thanks for this $2 super chat. Thanks, Squid. Chalky milk money. Yeah, I'm putting in an order for delivery. I forgot to do a Walmart delivery order because didn't leave the house today. Didn't do nothing. My headache's gone. Hopefully it stays that way. But so thanks guys for getting rid of my headache. A good laugh will do that, But I didn't get the chance to go to the store, and she finished the chocolate milk. And Southern Red Sox girl, $9.99 Meyer money. Thanks. Don't have a Meyer around here anymore. I'm gonna tell Meyer to move to Georgia. So 20 minutes behind catching up, had to deal with something. I put it on quickness because we about to get going. So and we need to get together because remind me to remind you, and I'll remind you someday. We need to get together and schedule a art therapy because we need some art time. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. I'm not going to read that other motion that was stricken because it literally says the same thing in the other issue. It document 117 is 33 pages. And it literally says the same thing in the first paragraph. The internet agitator, all of that stuff. So, yeah, closest one is in Kentucky. Oh, yeah. Can't sanction. And that's the thing. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know after a motion is stricken if sanctions can be it's just weird to me. So, Squid, the Tigers have gone crazy, down 3-0. Detroit scored 7 runs in the last 2 innings. That is awesome. Tonight is the last, tonight is hopefully when I can break out the damn broom and say goodbye to Craig Counsell and those Cubs and watch him wipe those tears like he can wipe his backside with that $40 million. Because money doesn't buy wins. All right. Yeah, we don't need those stinking repeats. Randy Fine is my example of a wannabe avoid service professional. All right. Well, y'all have a great day. I'm going to see if there's anybody that we can redirect you to. Who is live right now? Let's see. AJ is live. Y'all go tell AJ that I said hi, and y'all have a great day. And I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out and having a good laugh. Yes, and go Brew Crew. Let's see, did I miss anything? Oh, yeah, Cynthia, thank you for the $3 super sticker. Don't want to miss you. I appreciate you so much. And thanks, everybody, for... Ooh, Kathy, I'm going to pretend you didn't say that because I really like you. Just kidding. See, we can all agree to disagree in here. Yep. And bye, friends. And bye, haters, too. And by the way, I like the color blue and I like the color green. So I'll send you some paint swatches so you can redecorate your apartment or my apartments in y'all's head. Y'all have a great day. And I will see you guys on the next one. Tell AJ I said hi. Bye.